Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. If you do go on to enjoy today's video and want more content like this, then feel free to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. He definitely doesn't like SJWs.
Z or Zer. Why not?
I don't care what people want to be called, that's fine, but that doesn't mean I should be compelled by law to call them that. The government has absolutely no business whatsoever, ever, governing the content of your voluntary speech.
He can crack a joke from time to time.
Many people can work for themselves.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's a smaller plot of land, but it can be very effective, especially with what
That's
you're talking
not
about.
that small either. I mean,
Yeah.
your reach is not trivial.
Well, it's not. It's always, of course, it's less respected because of the likes of Not Gay Jared on this program. So
I think it's a testament to your character that you still employ him.
I know. Well, that's the whole thing. Well, and that's what worries me too in the era of Trump, and I'm thrilled to see leftists losing their minds. I'd lie if I said that weren't the case. But
Jordan making perfect sense as always.
In 1895, the typical Westerner lived on less than $1 a day, which is absolute poverty by today's standards, right? And so people were brutally poor for almost the entire course of human history. It was rough. You say, well, did men or women have it worse? It's like, well, that's a complicated question. But one of the things you can say is everybody had it pretty damn bad.
These protesters put themselves in the deep end.
To hijack an event like this that other people put time and effort into, and to use their civility of the crowd and the civility of the organizers as an excuse to blatantly yell out your ill-informed opinions is no way to conduct a civil dialogue. It's absolutely appalling. The people who do that should be embarrassed.
Jordan has some stern words for Trudeau.
He appointed 50% of females to 50% of his cabinet because it was, what did he say? Because it's 2015. It's like, no, quarter of your elected members of parliament were female. If your job was to pick the most qualified people, period, regardless of their genitalia, because they're leading the country. You pick the most qualified people.
I don't think Ruben was ready for this.
How?
I'm more authentic, I'm more honest.
No. Unforgivably stupid. And I can also see that, and I believe this to be the case, is that you just have failed developmentally. Neurological evidence in that regard is quite clear. If you're a child and you're dependent on your parents, you can't treat yourself properly. You can't have a relationship with another person. You can't stabilize your family.
You can't argue with this.
To 10 people, do I get to offend 1 in 10? How about 1 in 100? How about 1 in 1,000? You're going to come out on stage and you're going to say something important about something vital, and you're not going to offend 1 person in 1,000? Well, you can't say anything about anything important ever without offending probably the person you're talking to. Important speech about important issues, especially contentious issues, is instantly offensive.
He does not hold back when speaking his mind.
That sort of person is because I've done my homework. I've read everything I can get my hands on in the development of authoritarian political systems, and I know the literature inside out and backwards. And I am not going to be a mouthpiece for language that I detest. And that's that.
Someone really picked the wrong fight.
You have a moral duty. If you have the advantage of a name, you have a moral duty to supersede the accomplishments of the person who bore that name and gave it its weight before you dare capitalize on it in the public sphere. And Trudeau did none of that. He knows how to behave. He knows how to act in public. He had the upbringing for it. Other than that, there's nothing there.
He will not let his speech be controlled.
How much responsibility do you feel that you have, particularly guys the alt-right, who, as you say, some of them have enjoyed your work and say,
No,
I'm not one of you guys. I'm not with you guys.
They haven't enjoyed my work.
I've definitely read bits on the internet.
Read more.
He doesn't need much to prove his point.
Well, in what sense is our society male-dominated?
The fact that the vast majority of wealth is owned by men, the vast majority of capital is owned by men. Women do more unpaid labour.
Very tiny proportion of men, and a huge proportion of people who are seriously disaffected are men. Most people in prison are men. Most people who are...
You really can't fight the stats.
Choices and having equality of outcome.
Aha, well, so the overwhelming proportion of people who are in prisons are male. Now, do you want to equalize that? Just out of curiosity? What about bricklayers? They're 99% male. And we've got about 3/4 of the population now in universities in the humanities and social sciences are female.
Yeah.
Are we going to equalize that?
He has a pretty good sense of humor.
and they say, I appreciate humor. but they don't crack a smile. You know, well, apparently they've had some kind of a face issue. So
I try not to crack a smile when I'm making jokes.
really, why?
It's more amusing to me that way.
That's more amusing to you. I can understand that. So your art is only for yourself. You know what some Canadians call that? Pretentious. So
Jordan does not take any nonsense.
Well, you know, it's actually rather difficult to answer a question that ends with "your comments are banal" politely. So, you know, I would consider that more of an opinionated personal and political statement than actually a question. So why don't you try reformulating that so that there's an actual question there?
Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, then feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this and much more. Goodbye for now, and we'll see you next time.